to record on the cloud. It said I didn't have enough memory. So we'll have the first half on one and first half on the other. So ask the question again.
Sure thing. Having recently finalized the publication of your debut novel, how does the satisfaction of completing that compare to the satisfaction of releasing the collaborative effort, Tolerance?
Both are extreme highs.
Mm-hmm.
To know that you finished it and that you did it. It was a dream come true to have a novel done of my own.
Mm-hmm.
I've got several written, but not all ready to go to print. And this was just unbelievable. It feels unreal.
Mm-hmm.
The anthologies feel real because I've got 9 other people to reach out and touch,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak, to know that we accomplished it. But this one, I accomplished
Mm-hmm.
myself, me, myself, I, and my hubby, because he did some proofing for me and editing for me. In fact, he was so tickled when we got the books and he flipped it open and he's like, "Oh, I remember that paragraph." So, it meant a lot.
Good.
And when the others come, it's because this was my dream, a legacy. Because I started this just before my 70th birthday.
So 20 years from now?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I want something. I want a legacy. I don't know if the non-authors are aware of this, but books that you've written are inheritable.
Mm-hmm.
And if they are high sellers, the family can get up to 75 years or more in royalties.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have a lot of money, but I have a lot of stories.
Okay. So as a follow-up then, having talked with creators of all kinds, something that has been communicated to me that people experience after fulfilling a major goal in creation, such as completing a novel or finalizing a sculpture or something to that effect, they're overcome with the malaise of a job well done, quote unquote. Have you ever experienced that? And if so, how do you combat that to continue to produce literary works?
I have not, because I'm 70 question mark. And I don't know how much time I have. So I have no time to rest on my laurels. I have things going right now that I've started a quarterly authors reading with local authors here, and I'm encouraging the others to do something similar in their own locales, or even doing it on the internet like a podcast. I have 3 books I have to edit and get out, and I know actually I've got 4, so I need to get those going. I need to make money, honey.
Okay.
Because making, even if it's self-published, the writing of the book is your effort and your time. To get it printed, I mean, just the act of printing it is not expensive at all. You can get it done for free. It's the cover. You can design your own, or it can be anywhere from $50 to a couple $1,000. And then the editing is, Diane, you have to make a living as an editor, and you've paid to go through the training and to get certified, all of that. So we as authors pay editors. So all of that costs money, and all of that has been out of pocket.
Mhm.
And I need to pay back the pocket.
Okay. Pay back
So
the pocket.
that's,
Okay.
yeah,
All right. Well, thank you very
that's
much.
why I can't rest on my laurels too.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm going to
Great.
disappear for a quick minute, but I can hear you because my dog's barking
Gotcha.
in
Okay.
the garage. She likes to sit in the car, thinks she's going on a trip. So yeah, she sure does. She loves to
Alright.
just sit in the car, and she thinks that she's going somewhere.
Okay. All right.
She
Well,
loves
then
to
while she's
travel.
gone, I'll pose this question to the rest of the group, to everybody. Everybody, throw your answers in the chat if you can't hop on with your mic. What is something that you learned in the last 2 weeks? This is something new, something that you learned. Yash, what do you got?
Well, for me, I think it's, well, maybe not learned, but reinforced, I would say, is the detail matters. I mean, as much as great as it is to convey grand and broad stories, it's also important to make sure that they're conveyed well. So I really like trying to, find the excitement even in sentence level edits,
Mhm.
missing Oxford commas, which
Okay.
is my big pet peeve.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The French consulate in LA does not answer their phones. That is a useful bit of information. That's good to know. Thanks, Aletta. Anybody else have something?
I'm typing a response to Jonathan.
Oh.
Would you ask again?
Oh, no. I was just reading your comment out that the French consulate doesn't answer their phone.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody else learn something recently, last couple weeks? I'll tell you mine right quick. So since 2000, I've been well, a quick little bit of background. So I'm from Chicago. My family is from the island of Puerto Rico. My grandparents were born there, and then they moved to the States in the 30s, I want to say. Like all four of them just happened to individually move around the same time. But so since 2020, I've been kind of learning about the history of indigeneity in my family. And in those pursuits, one thing that I'd learned is before the indigenous peoples of the island of Puerto Rico, there was another group. There was like this older ancient group of individuals that lived there their entire existence and then passed before the Taino Indians came to the island. So like the Taino Indians, I learned, they were like a nomadic people that intermingled with cultures throughout all of South, Central, and even North America. So like their blood is found all over the place. But I mean, there's this whole ethnic group of people that lived and died on this island that I didn't know existed. So this is exciting for me to dive even further into the history of the land of my peoples. So that's something.
That is cool.
So
Yeah.
I think I learned something new every day. There's probably a day goes by that I don't learn something, but many, many years ago, I learned that I'm not going to remember what it is that I learned every day. But I would say that one of the biggest pieces of information that I've recently learned, and this was probably Monday that I really learned this, there's a lot of cancel culture and people saying bad things about a lot of folks in the past. And in particular, one of them is Columbus. I always say that I'm celebrating bad navigation in October when I get that day off of work. And, obviously he didn't discover a new world. It was new to the Europeans when he brought it back. But what I learned was that he truly was a bad man, because it wasn't, hey, I found this and we can start the trade. When he got to Hispaniola and discovered the West Indies, he saw a people that could be subjugated, and specifically brought the natives back to Europe with the intent of enslaving them, because it was very much a norm of the time for there to be slaves, and getting them from somewhere else and bringing them back home by that point in our Western civilization was more important than just simply taking the people that we conquered and turning them into slaves. That didn't work out for Columbus because they contracted diseases and died. But I did not know that his method of exploiting the new continent was slavery. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
But
Something.
that,
Oh, go ahead, Kathleen.
I was just going to say, that's something that happened throughout history. Any conquering nation, any discovering nation always took back natives for slaves.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
Always. But I wanted to say something on Andrea. She put out that one of the things that everybody needs to know was, you can't be afraid to learn, to try something new if whatever you've learned that is new.
Mhm.
And
Mm.
I think that's one of the things that our group is. We are something new as an anthology. I know of no other anthology group that allows every author to write in their own genre for a theme. Everyone else has to just write straight for the theme, and they're all of one genre. They're all romance, they're all historians, they're all this or that, or it's all one author. And so we ourselves are something unique
Mhm.
Mm,
that has never been tried before.
Yeah.
look at that. Look at that.
Mm.
Anybody else
new.
have something they want to throw in that they have learned lately? If not, we're gonna jump into another prize.
I learned that
Oh, here we
if
go.
you are at a high altitude and you are baking, you need to go
There we go.
25 degrees lower.
Lower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thin air is hilarious.
I learned that in Asia. Talking about being outside your comfort zone. I was in Afghanistan when I learned, gosh, there's a reason they put high altitude directions on the box of cake.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a trip. It's a trip. All right. Kathleen just left, so no prizes. Let's move on to the next question. All right. So this question is for Dina Lynn.
Oh, great.
How does your mental or emotional state impact your ability to write? Or are you able to compartmentalize like what's happening in life so that you can just
Nope.
put your head down
Nope,
and focus on
absolutely
writing?
not.
No?
It's impossible. It's impossible. It's impossible.
Okay.
But you can, in all my craziness, because that's what I mostly am, is very stress, hyper, A++, whatever that, I don't know what it was called. It was called, when I was working, it was called like an A type person.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'm like that about 100 times.
Mm.
And forcing myself to sit and just try and write, even sometimes if it's gobbledygook,
Right.
that works good.
Yeah.
That works good.
Okay.
And sort of like what was said earlier, we were talking about having a goal. Sometimes something comes up, even though
Mhm.
you're writing a bunch of mishmash. I am, because my brain is so fried, and don't blame my husband's coffee. It's just naturally like that.
Okay. As a follow-up then, what are some of the tactics that you put for your, like the feelings or emotions or even tasks or the things that you're thinking a lot about during the day? Do you have to deal with them first, or can you kind of acknowledge like, okay, this is where I'm at, but I'm going to put that aside and then I'm not going to deal with it, and then you can enter into the world that you're creating? And even though, like you mentioned, like sometimes you're like, no, I just have to write even if it's gobbledygook. Do you find it more beneficial to deal with the things that are impressing on you, or do you like, no, I have to kind of muscle through this?
Beneficial is a really funky loaded word. I don't
Mhm.
know about beneficial.
Mhm.
But all my emotions, it's actually very embarrassing to admit that everything that I've written and that you've all seen now, 4 different pieces,
Mhm.
I'm in there in spades.
Mm.
I'm in there in spades. So there's no dividing line between things that have to be done and what I'm writing about. It's all coming out at the same time. And I'm sort of like Anna. I can stop in the middle. I'm paying a bill. I should pay that bill, but man, I got this idea, or I'm
Okay.
eating dinner or whatever,
Mhm.
So
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's have a winner. Heavy with an
We
A in
have,
Kathleen. Give me, let's do 2
okay,
or 3.
all right. We have Andrea.
Hooray!
Yay!
Congratulations.
And we have Michelle and we have Dina.
Michelle and Dina, congratulations.
Yes.
Michelle,
you.
Dina.
What are we?
And Andrea, are you a reader or are you a writer?
I would say a little bit of both. I don't really have time to read
Look,
books online, but I read
a little
online.
bit of
And,
both.
if I have like like you guys, an idea, a thought in my head,
Okay.
I'll get like some scrap paper
Okay,
and just
so
start
an
writing down.
ebook would be great for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Then what I have for you is 30 minutes with me to ask any question
Great.
about writing or publishing, anything like that. You have 30 minutes with me, Andrea.
Oh, wow.
So
That's great.
you give me a call or email with my email's in there. Send me an email with your information and we will arrange a Skype or a Zoom call. Sound good?
Great.
All right.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it.
And
And
what are,
then
yeah, we got prizes
Michelle.
for, yeah.
Yeah, Michelle, you're getting some folders, honey, buddy.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah.
Are they Kathleen, are they the ones you've been showing?
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
I found those. I
Yes.
was looking and looking and looking for them, and I found them, and they are so cool to use for organization. And Dina, yes, you won.
I'm sort of
And-
like that.
No, I'm going to send you some folders because you're so,
Woo!
you are a very
am.
organized woman, or you like to be organized.
You can't see my desk, Kathleen. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
you can't see mine either.
I like to pretend like I'm organized. Yeah.
There you go. So you're getting folders. So
Thank
we
you,
got
Diane.
that.
Thank you,
Woo!
Diane, for coming and joining us for the call. Lovely having you here.
Diane.
Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Diane.
Bye.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, bye.
Thank you, Diane.
All right. So we have a couple more questions left. This next one goes out to Kevin. What is your writing schedule? What does your writing schedule look like?
I work a 4-day on, 4-day off schedule. So I have about 4 days where I can just wake up and start writing through most of the day. Sometimes that goes into the night. But for the most part, I keep a Google Docs on my phone. So anytime I get inspiration, I can just open it up and start writing in, okay, this needs to happen, that needs to happen. Or I think of something that someone would say, because I write from a character point of view. Like I usually come up with a situation, like one situation, and I have these 2 characters. And then as it starts to unfold, even though I have an idea about where that's going to go, it might change because I realize they wouldn't do that or they wouldn't say that. Someone would say this. So, and it starts to it's almost like if you walked into their lives and you didn't know where their life was going, you'd it'd be revealed to you. And so I allow that to happen sometimes because I start to build the characters, which I think are more important sometimes than the plot. They have to be interesting. But then dynamic things occur and you realize, you know what, this would be good if this happened. And then I sort of write it from that perspective, then deciding what should happen. And then picking characters that are nothing.
Right. Okay.
But my schedule is pretty much just as on those days I write as long as I can.
And then on the days that you're not writing,
Even though I get inspirations,
if
I
it
have
pops
to
up,
have
you'll
some
just boom,
place.
boom, boom, boom.
I have to have some place to put it down before I forget.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. So piggybacking off of the idea of creating characters, have you ever been kind of going over your writing, like reading a story that you've written that has scenes with multiple people? Have you ever noticed yourself fall into the pitfall of writing conversations in a singular voice? So sometimes you'll see writers when they have a couple characters where they're like, and you kind of made mention of this, like, oh, this character might not do that. Have you noticed that yourself, like when you're going back and reviewing it, that you're like, oh man, this all sounds like one person talking to themselves, even though there are 4 people here.
Yeah. So like if you're imagining you're this character, then maybe you imagine you're that character. You're talking. It's you each time talking to yourself as if you were playing chess and then turning the board and playing white, then turning the board and trying to play black. And you realize you already know what the other person is going to say, so you're already strategizing what I know I'm going to say next.
Right.
And then it becomes really stale. You know, you really have to separate the characters to be individuals.
Yeah. So, okay, then examining the 4 days on of writing that you do, and if we pretend that is like the routine, you wake up, you write until there's nothing left, and then you stop. If that routine gets interrupted, do you feel as though you need to correct the ship? Like it feels like you have veered off course, like, oh, I feel out of my element because this is my routine and I'm out of that? Or are you able to kind of adjust as things kind of distract you or pull you away from it?
I don't adjust well. I've sat here where I'm sitting now, and someone said dinner's ready. I'm like, okay, let's gotta finish this. I'm writing, and then I stop and I look around, and all the lights are in the house. All the lights in the house are off. I realize everyone's in bed. I'm like, where'd everyone go? And I realized it's long past that time. It's been 2 hours, 3 hours. You're like, man. Though you can't get out of that zone. You're in that zone and it feels so good. Like you're just on a toboggan, just sliding downhill. You can't get off of it. You just go with it until it comes, down to a lowland, and you're like, okay, I can get off now.
Okay, so you have to write it out. Okay, excellent. Thank you for sharing. Kathleen, do we have another winner?
Actually, I have 2 of you.
Woo!
I have Kevin and Belinda.
Hooray!
Yay!
Hooray!
So, Belinda, are you a writer or are you a reader? Belinda.
Is she there?
Well, I mean, perhaps she's occupied, and she can only listen. Cool beans.
Yeah.
She's
We'll get back to her.
Yeah.
But Kevin, I have.
Wait.
you-
Is Kevin a writer or a reader?
Oh, I know what he is.
Oh, okay.
He's both.
Yeah, I guess. I think I
And
write more than I read, though.
yeah,
Read more.
yeah. I have actually a gift certificate again from La Michelle, another 30 minutes on how to do a book trailer.
Ooh.
Good.
Okay.
I could use that.
Okay.
You gave it the 2 hardest people to actually show how to do a trailer.
Uh-huh. So you're going to have fun with Linda.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I just gotta write your name down here on here so I know who goes where.
All right.
And Kevin and
Cool beans.
Belinda, I'm just gonna, if you can hear me, but you can't talk, you are getting an ebook of the anthology.
Hey, congratulations, Belinda.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. I'm sorry I had to step out
Hi.
for a minute, but thank you very much.
Okay.
You won a book.
Congratulations. Hooray. All right. So we have one final question. Yash.
And then 2 more names.
Yep. Yash,
Yo.
when did you first fall in love with writing?
Oh, this is a tough one, but one of the first stories that I ever wrote, it goes back many years. I'll tell you, the first story I wrote, I was 5, early 90s.
Wow.
I remember it because it was the one, and the thing I still remember, weirdly enough, is the orange glow of that computer screen. And anyway, it was a story called Mr. Lump's Pump. So about a guy whose irrigation pump broke and he jumped in a lake. I was still learning punctuation and I still needed a little more sense of how to address conflict, but that would definitely be the earliest thing I can pinpoint.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel like even then you were like, oh, wow, I love this. I have to do this.
Yeah, because I think even if whether written or verbal, I like the notion of making up stories at a really young age. I mean, another thing was, I think I was 4, because I invented an imaginary wife because I learned that, married couples got presents.
Ah, genius.
So yeah,
I'm super impressed that at 5 years old you were concerned about somebody's irrigation pump. That's really impressive to me. You were Mr. Lump, your irrigation pump is not working anymore. That's great. I love that. So as a follow-up, I've heard so many creators across all kinds of media talking about how they feel as though if they do not create, they'll die. Do you ever feel as though writing is something that has to happen, or you feel off, or like you feel like if I can't write, I'll die? Do you ever experience that?
I do, but I've also tried to become more pragmatic. I like a lot of people who have experienced writer's block, and I know that you can't push it. So when that malaise hits, I find something else to do. I go out for walks. I immerse myself in classical music. Just things that might catalyze a story down the road. So all about perspective.
Yeah. Excellent. Wonderful. Great. Thank you everyone for answering the questions. We have a couple more winners. Let's hear them.
Okay, we have got Deborah. And Deborah, are you a reader or a writer?
I'm the reader.
You're a reader, so you get an ebook.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Of the anthology. And I will say this. Each year, each time we come out with a book, our stories are more and more unique. And what you are getting is something like one of our reviews that we had today it's like eating potato chips. You can't eat just one. And then when the bag is empty, it's like, oh, so you are getting that. You're getting a bag of chips. You're gonna love it. And Jerry, you are you're gonna get one also with Jonathan and Kevin, a time with La Michelle, because I know all 3 of you
Oh my.
want to learn this. And I think that it's going to be so instrumental. She might just combine it into a
That's what I was
three-way
just gonna
class.
say.
So,
great.
and that way you get more time and more feedback, talking with each other and doing that. So that's your prize.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
You're
Congratulations.
welcome. You're welcome.
Excellent.
So
Sorry,
Wonderful.
Michelle.
Wonderful.
did
Thank you.
everybody get a gift?
Did you
Everybody
get a
got-
gift? Did you get a gift?
Did I get a gift? I got a gift of all of you. You're my
All
gift.
right.
Truly,
All right. Well,
truly,
fun.
this is my gift.
Wonderful. Well, everybody, thank you so much for answering my questions, for being a part of the conversation. This is, again, as a reminder, the second Meet the Authors Zoom chat in the seasonal anthology series. First it was fall, now we have spring. Next we have winter, which will be should be dropping end of September, early October, and then the final summer will be next year. Like when I think about these, it reminds me of do you guys ever read those books from the 80s called the Dragonlance stories? And they're like this collection of like fantasy stories, and they told them in the seasons as well, like the Dragons of Summer Flame and these of Winter. And so like it brings back fond memories of reading books that were very adult for my very child brain, but it's one of those things that you get inspired early and you can't let go of it. So right on.
Yeah.
Great.
Daniel,
Kathleen, if you would
thank
like
you.
to close us out. Thank you
Daniel,
so much
thank
to
you.
everybody again.
Yeah. I have I'm going to close this up, but I have a question for all of the audience that is still with us. And that is, do you have any, because we're all starting, some have already written their stories for winter and are in the editing phase, and some of the others are just beginning. Do you have some ideas of what would intrigue you to have a story about winter? Was that clear as mud?
No, it was clear.
That's good. Yeah, it's clear.
Clear as a
If
bubble.
you, okay, thanks. If you have an idea, we call them prompts in the writing field. Like I've challenged everybody on our group, if they want to participate, to write a 300-word story on Tempted. So, and even possibly writing in a different genre so that they can feel more challenged.
You've
So-
offered that prompt to us before, and I have never felt tempted to write that.
But I would be, if you write it in the chat, I can save the chat and share it amongst all the authors and, your proposed idea. And so those of us who are still thinking of something to write, we might just take it and run with it. And then we can give you credit for giving us an idea. How does that sound?
I'd like to say something. If any of the people who were who joined in to watch and you didn't get a free ebook copy, I'll gift you one right now if you want. Like Cindy, I don't know who else, Belinda or Andrea or anybody.
Yeah, please put your
If you put your
send your
email address in there.
yeah, or you can
I'll-
send it to me and I can send it to Kevin.
Yeah.
And Kathleen, can you just also tell the guest about the website or Lynn?
Oh, yes. In fact, I wanted you and Lynn to show the website. We've just created our own logo. We're Transcendental Authors. And did I say it right?
Yeah.
Struggle with it too,
Yeah,
Catherine, but I
Transcendent.
think about it before I say it. Transcendent.
Yeah.
Transcendent Authors. And but we have a website, and Michelle and Lynn are double L's. We're going to let them take over for a few minutes.
And it
And can
is
you show it?
awesome. I gotta say, I think it's amazingly good.
Yeah, me too.
Because you can share screen on this.
Okay. Lynn, do you want to bring it up?
You can bring it up. I haven't been successful at sharing screens yet. I built the website, but I can't share a screen. Guess we're all technologically challenged at something, right?
Yep. You have to be, you have to have a weakness so that you can have somebody come along and help you.
How can we have a character arc without it?
That's true.
Yeah.
So there
Isn't
you
that
go.
isn't that beautiful?
Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So this is the home page.
It's wonderful.
The spring book is right there.
There it is.
And then we have I'll take you to the authors page.
Mhm.
Lynn, if you could talk, that'll.
Oh, okay. And this is the authors page, and we have two sections, one with current authors that wrote in the most recent anthology. And then underneath are our alumni authors who wrote in the first two anthologies, at least one, either Tolerance, which was the first one, or Autumn, which was the second one.
Hi, Daniel.
Oh, that's me.
At the bottom, you can click on any of these
Yeah.
names or, anthologies and go to the particular one you've clicked on. And there's Spring. If you click on Spring, the Unexpected Contents, it opens up into the contents of the book, basically letting you know what the 10 stories are on side A and side B, and you can click on the author's name and go to their particular page. And that's also true for all of the stories, same for Tolerance and Autumn.
Wow, what an amazing job.
You did marvelous.
Oh,
You
I'm
really
so
did.
impressed. So impressed.
Then the contact
And the
page.
contact is just a simple contact form where you can send a message or whatever.
Mhm.
You want, and then if you press the middle, that'll bring you back.
You're back to home. Yeah, the logo is back to the home page.
Mhm.
There's so many genres for books that, it was really kind of hard to pick four, but those are the four main ones in which everybody fit. And then this is a little bit about us, explaining the timeline of how the group came together and how things evolved as far as the anthologies of our group.
Would you do me a favor and click on the genres and show what happens when you click on an actual genre?
Okay,
Romance.
I hope it clicks.
No, I need to go.
Well, I'll have
Oh,
to fix
no,
that.
she's
You can go to the home
yeah.
page
My
though.
homepage.
Yeah,
And
there.
and then as you go down, each genre, there's an explanation for the genre, like romance and love stories. I added love stories because it was a big SEO word. People search for love stories more than they do for romance. But you can see the different authors and in what book they wrote a romance story. And again, you can click one or the other. There's a brief description that explains what a romance is. Same for thrillers and mystery stories and sci-fi and fantasy.
That's a great idea. Wonderful.
And then it bounces you back to the author page.
Right, if you click there.
Right. So if I
You can pretty much go anywhere on the website. There's a lot of internal links to click to go places.
So if you go to Kathleen's website.
Mm-hmm.
There's
So-
Kathleen's page and her videos. A number of authors did videos where they're reading excerpts from their stories.
Then you can connect the links. You can click on the links at the bottom.
Yeah, and then they have their social media links that you can click to go to and their web page. Some authors have web pages you can click to go to. Find more, more about that particular author.
So visit the
I just
website.
am so proud of you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
all the work that they did. So, and I think that gave everybody time also to write in chat. Now let's see. Yeah, okay.
Well,
Thank
I'll also
you.
take the opportunity to say, if you haven't done it already, read either some of the stories or all of the stories, and you can go on Amazon or Goodreads and leave us a review. The more reviews we get, the better the book will do overall. We've had several reviews already, and several very good reviews. I liked them. But even if you didn't like it, leave a review.
And don't be intimidated by the word review. It's not an intellectual analysis. You can just write, I loved it.
And don't be
That's it.
intimidated by the word transcendent either. It's difficult to say, but worth it when you get it out.
Absolutely. Thank you, Belinda. We got it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here. Daniel, a special thank you for being our host today.
Happy to.
You are always
job, Daniel.
marvelous.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes, and do know where his, I sent his email out earlier that you need to, if you need a podcaster, he is for hire. And he is very, very good. If you're doing something for family and you want somebody to coordinate it or anything like that, he's great. Talk to you later. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too. Take
Bye.
care, everybody.
Peace, y'all.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Kathy. Daniel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Bye. Jonathan, I'm taking you up on your gift.